up, everybody? Spencer Israel here with my man, producer AB.
What is up, Spencer?
Hey, Aaron Bree, a.k.a. Junior Producer AB. What's going on, man? How we doing?
Not a whole lot. My usually we don't talk till the markets are closed for our Ring the Bell podcast.
That's true.
So I got thrown off for a second, but market's still open for another hour.
Yeah, just about. So here's what's going to happen. AB and I are going to hang out. We'll talk markets, talk about what we're watching, and then at 3:30, we'll bring Joel on, and Joel will do his thing into the close. AB, let's start with a call out that you noticed a few minutes ago here. Let's start with the video game stocks today, the video game sector, if you will. I've got my Benzinga Pro. I've got Roblox up on the screen here. So I've got my scanner tool on the left, my details tool on the right with Roblox. Roblox, as you can see, is up 1% for the day. You might say, that's all right. It's up 1%. There's nothing to write home about, but that's good, all right? But now compare that to the rest of the space, okay? Activision Blizzard down 2.5% today, or 3%, excuse me, today. Take-Two down 4% today. EA, they're down 2.5% today. Zynga down 2.5% today more. So the entire sector seems to be down on this, the final day of E3, and yet Roblox, with the relative strength, is hanging up. It's hanging up. Good for it.
Yeah, and let's just talk about that term for a second, Spencer, relative strength. Yeah. So this is essentially when we see a stock in a specific sector, whether it be, energy, transportation, that is outperforming its peers in that sector. Is that correct?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, there's when people say relative strength, they may be referring to a number of things. They could be referring to the relative strength index, right? RSI, very common indicator, tells you when a stock is quote unquote overbought or oversold. The problem with that indicator, though, is it doesn't, just because the stock is overbought doesn't mean it has to go down. Or just because it's oversold doesn't mean it has to go. But it can stay overbought or oversold for a long time. But it's a nice, easy indicator to use and understand, and therefore it's very popular. It could mean that in our instance, though, we're referring to just performance against peers, right? So relative to their peers, relative to Activision, EA, Take-Two, Zynga, Roblox is really strong today, and that's what you want to see if you're a Roblox shareholder. You see, okay. The S&P is down today. Tech is down, right? And basically, every major index is in the red, not by a lot, but in the red nonetheless. And Roblox is up almost 2%. That makes today a great day.
And then the other thing that I like to see, I mean, if you go back, what is that previous high of Roblox? Like around 93. Well, there's that peak up there, but then we also have
what's the peak at 103?
Yeah, and so if Roblox continues to hold this level, that's when I would kind of expect to see it back up to its all. Like if it holds this level around here for say a few days, a few weeks, then I would feel good that it could go back up to its all-time highs.
Yeah. So it's interesting then that let's go to the rest of the space though, right? And look at Activision. We're gonna recap E3, guys. We got a whole show planned for tonight at 7 p.m. It might take us 2 hours to get through all the stuff that happened at E3 for the past few days. Activision is involved. We had the whole preview on Friday's show, or was it Thursday or Friday? I don't even remember at this point. But we had a whole preview. Activision will be discussed at length tonight. And yet, you see here, let's just zoom in. Let's go to a 5-day chart. Here's a 5-day chart. We'll just zoom. Yeah, that's good enough. No, I don't like it. Back to a daily. Let's look at a daily. We'll zoom in on the daily here. Ran up into the event and now is giving back all those gains today. And the same can be said with EA. The same can be said for where's EA? There's EA. Same can be said for Take-Two. All these charts look identical. Very interesting trend here today.
Yeah, and then Bill Big D in the chat is throwing out Facebook and Google. It said back to flat after hitting all-time highs.
Yeah.
And, Facebook, they obviously do a lot, right? They run Facebook. They run Instagram.
Yeah.
They have Oculus. But I'm curious, kind of, Facebook too. It looks like they're not getting hit in that video game sector, but they're
no, yeah, not in the video game sector. No, I mean, all of tech is down today, right? You can look at the QQQ as your proxy. I prefer the ARKK as my proxy, because the QQQ has some non-tech in there, and ARKK is like just growth tech. You could look at Apple, right? I mean, we talked about this morning, right, on pre-market prep. There's been this rotation yesterday, especially into tech. Look at yesterday in Apple. We talked about this easy to see, clear rotation. It's coming back today. So where is it going? Right, the money is coming out. We're taking a breather here in tech. So where's it going? It's going into some of those places that have been out of favor, right? Some people were asking about Caterpillar this morning. Caterpillar is, I mean, it's down for the day, but look at the past couple hours. What about Boeing here? Right, Boeing is up 1%. Nice. What about John Deere? Right, these are stocks that are outperforming the overall market. Therefore, for today, they have strong relative strength, and that's where, and the banks too, and that's where the rotation has been. Let's go to XLF. Right, banks all having a good day. Right, a lot of this is probably chop as we await. Well, not JP Morgan. A lot of this is probably chop as we await the Fed announcement tomorrow. I think the market is just, gonna hang out, range bound. Nothing crazy will happen until 2:00 tomorrow. I feel pretty confident in that take. The big banks all seem down, but the XLF is in the green. Go figure. So I think that's where we're at, right? We got this rotation, right? Tech was hot yesterday. It's not today. And there's more money going into the banks, into industrials, energy, right? Oil's having a good day today, right? Yep. So it's just a rotation thing. I think that's where we're at when we have a lack of clear market driver, which we don't. We will have one tomorrow, though. So interesting observation you made, AB, with the video game race, and we're going to talk about it all tonight. But very surprising, very interesting to see the ATVI, all these guys just trade down. What about Microsoft today? Because Microsoft it's down because the rest of tech is down. But Microsoft had a big Sunday with the Xbox, and they like dominated the day. So we're going to talk about all that, but very interesting. Obviously, it's a more diverse company, but still very curious to see Microsoft trading down. With the rest of these big E3 companies for sure.
Yeah, and just wrapping up. I mean, with that observation that we made about the video game stocks, that just gives me, like, if I was looking to buy one right now, I would buy Roblox, because it shows me that, hey, look, even if this whole sector gets hit.
Well, hold on there for a second. So, okay, so it's strong today, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could argue that there'll be a reversion of the mean and that the other stocks could catch up to it, or however you want to frame it.
Are you in Roblox? Because I don't own it, but it's put on my, what I call, like, watch. I guess it's a watch list. It's just basically, I have a list of things that, like, maybe I'll buy, maybe I won't, but I have them on my radar. That's on the list.
I don't own any, but yeah, same. I mean, it's on my watch list. I would probably want to see it drop back down before I buy it, like, so I'm not feeling like I'm buying it this expensive. But and we've talked about this before, Spencer. I mean, there are studies that show for IPOs that within like 6 months of the initial price offering, that there will be the stocks will be lower than what it's at trade on the IPO. Of course, Roblox wasn't necessarily an IPO; it was a direct listing, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So maybe a little bit different, but I actually did get into an IPO recently, like right at open, which I usually don't do. And actually today, that's one that's been crushing my portfolio. I have a couple stocks today that's dragging my whole portfolio down. Those are Fubo and EDR, Endeavor. So Endeavor is the one that I bought kind of right at the IPO. Yep, there you go. And it's been doing really well. Like, my position's still up about 10%, but it's come down, like, what is that? 32 to 27. That's $5. That's about 20% off its all-time highs.
Yeah. No, so this is the talent agency that also bought UFC, right?
Yeah, I mean that's my catalyst for them is that they own UFC. UFC's been rapidly growing. I mean, Spencer, you and I are both sports fans. I grew up more predominantly on like the big four sports: basketball, hockey, baseball, football. But what I've noticed is among a lot of kids my age, so 22 to 24 to 25, are like watching UFC every single weekend and like getting really into it. And it was never like that for me growing up. So I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know UFC is growing at a rapid pace. So that's one of those mine that I just like buy, hold. I'm not really looking at it, but today it just sucks that it's down 5% and kind of crushing my portfolio.
Yeah, I mean it's been sort of, I don't want to say barcoding, but it's been in this range here for the past couple of weeks, really since its third or fourth day on the market, right? So, all right, if you're buying hold, then you're buying hold. There's nothing, and then there's no reason to look at the stock in any given day, right?
Exactly. I might have made it a little bit too. It might take up a little bit too much of my portfolio. I'm realizing now if it's affecting that much of my portfolio on a bad day, but I think it's about 10% of my portfolio right now.
Total fixed service. Thoughts on Zoom? Well, growth tech as a whole is down today, right? So it's going to trade with that group, right? Zoom is going to trade with Teladoc, right? With ARKK, with DocuSign, right? That whole growth, dare I say, stay-at-home trade. We're not even in the stay-at-home trade anymore, but that's not a thing because we're all going back to work, but or at least back to the office. But that's what you're stuck with right now. If you're in any of those things, they're all, for better or worse, stuck together. So how the group goes, you're gonna go. And today the group is going down, unfortunately for you.
Yeah, and just a couple quick notes on that from me, Spencer, is so you have Zoom, you've got some of the biggest tech stocks right now, right? You got Amazon, Apple. A lot of these companies reported like record earnings last quarter.
Sure.
But it was already priced in. Like people were expecting Amazon to have sold a bunch of stuff online because people weren't all back to work yet, or expecting Zoom to report great numbers. And even with the great earnings, a lot of those stocks like fell after the earnings came out. So to me, it's like, what's the next catalyst, right? Apple like can't beat what they did last quarter, and that's already been priced in. And the second thing that will kind of makes me tentative about a lot of these stocks right now is these growth stocks. They're the ones that will get hit harder by, say the 10-year bond. If interest rate,
a rate hike would, at least on paper, a rate hike should hit growth harder
than value stocks. So right. I want to see not mine per se, but just the overall investor sentiment. I want like fears to be eased about inflation, about the bond yields, about rate hikes before I feel like we could really start ripping. I mean, look, Apple's been probably arguably one of, if not the best investment over the past 20 years. The stock hasn't done anything the past 6 months. People are calling it dead money, all this stuff. I still like Apple. I still think it's a great company. I think you can buy and hold it forever. But right now as a trade, it's not doing anything.
Right. Apple?
No, over the last, I mean, if you look back at the highs of last September,
in the last couple of weeks, it's looking juicy.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks. But go back out on like a long, the last year.
Yeah, sure.
The last year. You go back to last September.
Yeah, here we go.
And it was, I think, higher than it is now. Last September.
Yeah.
Or August.
It's been a great, I mean, it's been a great time to, do some. We talked about this morning about Dennis's friend that's been doing what straddles on Amazon since last summer. Does it every week. I mean, this is how big tech has gone. This is not actually. Does that look head and shoulders to you? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe.
You're saying it could go back down to that 117. I see what you're saying, that it could fully resolve and come back down. Look, I mean, that's the thing is I don't foresee any like big sustained up movement in any of these big growth tech stocks in the next few months or whatever. Maybe once say that the COVID recovery is fully completed or inflation, everything is more settled. Like I feel like there's just a lot of uncertainty right now, which will be holding back some of these bigger tech growth stocks.
How will the Fed news affect the meme stocks? Sanjeev wants to know. They probably won't. Let's look at AMC today, right? I mean, to me, these stocks are just completely uncorrelated to the broader market, and I think that may be why a lot of people are pissed off. A lot of traders are pissed off because it doesn't make quote unquote sense. But all you can do is I think you have to look at these in a vacuum. You have to look at the AMC. You look at AMC and GameStop. You put them together. You put them in one basket. Then you make a second basket where you look at AMC plus GameStop plus all the other ones, right? And I went over this morning on PreMarket Prep, the sites that I use to find these stocks. And you put all the other ones in a second basket because that other basket, these other ones like Wolf, right? And BlackBerry and Clover and Cleveland Cliffs, right? Like you see them get promoted on these platforms and they pop, but they don't always hold those rallies. Cleveland Cliffs is obviously holding its rally, but like BlackBerry, right, hasn't. It's down today. So you have to look at, that's how I would look at it, is like you put AMC and GameStop, you group them together, and they're going to trade more or less together. The other group may trade with GameStop and AMC, may not. Regardless, I don't think any of those group is trading with the Fed. Okay, personally, I think you got to take the Fed, take macro economics, take all of it, throw it out the window. It's just however the market is feeling that day. It's whether the short interest goes higher or whatever. Here, let me put AMC back on the screen. AMC, like I said this morning, I'd rather go long than go short. Right? I don't own it, but this morning it looked really good. It's up 4.5% today. It still looks really good here. The trend is your friend. I'm not saying anything that you all can't see for yourself, right? But it's hard to argue with this. It is hard. Like you might say it makes no sense. It doesn't matter. It is so hard to argue. Now, I don't know what the term for this kind of a candle is, right? This daily candle. There's a doji. There's some term for that. But it's hard to argue with this. It looks so good. It's held up this entire time, pretty much. It came back from below 40. I mean, that's damn good.
Yeah, and then I'm excited to watch what happens with AMC kind of the rest of this week. I don't think it'll be where it's at now. I think we'll either be a lot higher or
well, Joel and I were talking about this it was bunching up, right? It had that huge run, and then it had like 5 days in a row of smaller ranges, and it's still within that range. As long as it stays within the range of that one. What day was that? That was June 2nd. As long as it stays within the range of that June 2nd candle, then to me, it's still in like quote unquote like bunch up territory. The June 2nd, June 3rd. Pull those together, okay? As long as it stays within like June 2nd, June 3rd, within that range, what is that? It's a range of 37 to 72. So it's a big range. But it's a big range. But as long as it's within there, then I call that consolidation. And consolidation is good. It's healthy, right? Stocks can't just go up every day 20% forever.
I like when stocks start consolidating, they move sideways for a little bit. That's a good sign to me. Back to BlackBerry real quick, Spencer. Something that I saw interesting the other day, since Spencer is the resident kind of ETF expert. I was looking.
I would not call myself an expert. I'm just a guy who likes them.
He likes ETFs. I was looking at different cybersecurity ETFs because there's been a lot of.
I own one.
Like ransomware hacks, like all this stuff. Right? I just think the cybersecurity space will continue to grow. There will continue to be money flowing into it. But one of the ETFs I was looking at had BlackBerry as one of its like bigger holdings. I didn't know. I guess did BlackBerry like rebrand as a cybersecurity company or something?
You got to be careful. The thing about ETFs is you really got to look under the hood. What are you buying, right? Just because it's got cybersecurity in the name doesn't really mean jack, right? You got to really look, okay, what sectors, what industries, what stocks, what is in this thing? If it says it does, if it says it's got cybersecurity and BlackBerry's a 5% weighting, I don't know about that.
Then maybe we look for a different cybersecurity ETF.
Do you remember the ticker? You remember what it was?
I mean, I can probably find it because I think I literally just Googled like cybersecurity ETF and it was.
Oh, all right. You really got to look, right? You got to look under the hood, look at beyond just the name. Look at beyond the name and look at beyond the top 10 holdings, right? Beyond the top 10. First off, how big of a piece of the pie do the top 10 holdings take up? But then go beyond that. What else does this thing actually own?
Oh, I do remember it because, yeah, I don't know about you, Spencer. All right, wait, look, I'm about to share my screen. Hold on.
It was hack, wasn't it?
It was, but I'm a sucker for a good
ticker
like that,
yeah.
All right, so here, let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see this.
Yeah.
Scroll down to holdings. Right there, BlackBerry. It's second. As long as that's the same BlackBerry, that's the second biggest holding they have. And I was just surprised by that. I like this stock actually, Fortinet. I think the ticker is like FTNT. Mm-hmm. I like that stock. So I'm not saying I don't like this ETF. I love the ticker. I love hack as a, cybersecurity ticker. But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up to you, Spencer. That was kind of a red flag for me. I was like, why is BlackBerry in here? Yeah.
I mean, the hack is not the one that I was looking at this a few years ago. It's not the one that I bought. Hack's actually been losing. It's sort of been bleeding assets. It had the benefit of being the first cybersecurity specific ETF to launch back in 2014, but and then it launched I think it was right before or right after the Sony hack.
Oh wait, look. So we got a couple other. So I just went to this. What's cool about this website is you can go buy ticker. So now I'm in Fortinet and I can see some other ETFs that have like a big allocation of Fortinet. Yeah. So Bug, that's kind of a cool one too. iHack, I like that one. But don't invest just based off the ticker.
Yeah, Mike Wisdom, who's full of wisdom, is saying, or CyberArk, I think is what you're talking about, Mike. That's a CIBR is a fund, CYBR is a stock, but says they're expensive. And Noah Posner says Zscaler. Yeah, this is I love this. I love the space. I own it. I own CIBR. I love the space. But anyway, it's 3:30 here at Producer AB. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me.
I know how to take a hint, Spencer. I'll get out of your hair.
Well, you can hang out with us if you want, but I want to bring Joel on here and start the actual At the Close show. So let's do that. All right, it is time for PreMarket Prep at the Close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well. Good afternoon, Mr. Elconin. How are we doing today?
What's going on, champ? I missed you yesterday.
Oh, you didn't say that this morning. oh, you mean for this?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry, but I'm back.
At least someone misses you. Someone appreciates you. No names mentioned at all. No names. Not mentioning Dennis. Not mentioning Mitch. Dennis, no names mentioned.
Dennis called me actually on Friday night about unrelated to this. But
he did.
Well, only because he saw something on Twitter and he wanted to check up with me before responding. But
that's so sweet of him. He's a sweetheart. I didn't call you because I knew you were out doing 8-ounce curls with your buddies. Oh man, Dennis is
not that kind of.
Dennis is so nice.
Anyway,
I can't believe it. He's not as big of a pain in the butt as I thought he was.
All right.
But all right, let's move on. Joel,
what happened to the rotation? It rotated again.
you know what? It's a pretty exciting, boring day. I mean, I think that's the only way I can put it. The sell off that I was the only one concerned about in the off the PPI number. I know you weren't. Nick certainly wasn't. Worried about it. It turned out to be a sell off. Boom, we went red. We just drifted lower, kind of like yesterday. Went down. Everyone like me waiting for Tuesday's low, and boom, 4 points above it. They turn it around, trim the losses, just right back here in the middle of no man's land in the 42.30 handle. Friday's closed, your second all-time closing high. That was 36.50. So we're right in that area. Crude, another good day here, continuing to trade higher in the after hours, up $1.39, 72.27. Gold in the red by 570 at 18.60.20. Silver, once again, under 28, down 27 cents at 27.77. Bitcoin futures up $405, 40,115. Ethereum, kind of flat on the day, up $12, 2,556. Spencer?
I'm sorry. I put myself on mute to take a drink.
Boy, the mute trick is just going crazy here. We've been doing a lot of that.
I took a drink. I was going to mute my mic, and then I didn't. All right, moving on.
That's okay. No big deal.
Let's talk about this DraftKings here today, because this is, to me, a very impressive day.
I know. Same thing here, and I was looking at this with a couple traders on the PreMarket Prep Plus, and I said, "Hey, you know what? Let's see what they do with that pre-market low." We had talked about 45. There was really nothing at 45. There was. Let me bring up the chart here. Can't spell it out any better than that. Your pre-market low was 44.86. They opened it down right there. But boom, 44.65, undercut and rally. Nice day. Couldn't get all the gains back, or couldn't even get to the bottom of yesterday's range, because that was a long way to travel. But they had it down $6. Now it's only down $2.30. They announced their position. So, you want to incite the Reddit people and the rest of entire Wall Street, and you be an evil short seller. They're going to jam you. And they got jammed. Now, if they were selling here and buying here, then, hey, everyone has their own ethics in what they do. So I won't make a comment on that. But impressive day. They bought the dip. Let's see if we can go back and fill that gap, the gap from yesterday, 50.41. Be interesting. But right now, the street is sticking their nose up in Hindenburg lack of research.
I don't know if you can say lack of research.
I mean, they sold. They came out the short report. It went down, and now we'll see. I mean, I don't want to make any more. I already made too many comments. Erase that from the tape.
Okay, don't get to mulligan. What about Ride here? Ride is looking. It's unreal, because I mean, it looks like the stock is dead. Every day is something else with it. But at the same time, if you bought the stock a month ago, you're doing pretty good.
If you're buying the dip, it's because of Marcus and his faithful. Support level Triple D talked about yesterday. They sniffed it. Really, 891. The buyers stepped up at 9. Buyers in this area, and it's just one of those scenarios where, well, if it's not going to go down, then it's got to go up. And that's exactly what it did. Did we fill the gap here? Boy, nice gap fill. I hope you gap traders caught this one. The low on, what day was that? Friday, 10:59. The high today, 1064, filled the gap. So we'll see. I mean, this thing is crazy. But once again, maybe Marcus sold the 7 puts down there, bringing his average cost down to 1379.368. And, there he is. So bringing his cost down, a little rally going. We'll see if it can continue.
I forgot to mention, should have mentioned Penn National, which is actually, unlike DKNG, not holding up today. Tried to at the open. It did for a hot second there, but is at the low of the day right now.
Wow. Well, someone took that, step down seller. Man, maybe someone that had the DraftKings, Penn National, spread on, long the Penn, short the, or let me see. Yeah, long the DraftKings, no, long Penn, short DraftKings. Maybe they unwound it. DraftKings at a big discount. So you bring in the DraftKings and you sell the Penn. So that's what I think. You bring it back more in line now. They're, much more in line than they were off the open. So I just think some sneaky, pairs, some sneaky arbitrage there. Just said, hey, I'll bring them, unexpected windfall in the short DraftKings. Boom, we'll bring that in at a discount, probably several standard deviations for where they wanted it. And we'll just sell the Penn. We don't care because the spread, baby. That's all they're worried about, the spread. That's the only possible explanation I have for the decline in Penn. Did you follow me on that one, Spencer?
More or less.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
All right. The crazy stock of the day, Joel, is ALF, which I know you know.
Yeah, because I go there for my beauty supplies.
No, that's ALF. I'm talking about ALF, ALF.
Oh, okay.
As in the show, right?
Yeah, it must be that Jersey accent. Reddit? No Reddit.
Alien life form, ALF. That's
I know.
What is it? I think it's a Reddit. Well, they did have a headline, as if it matters. How many times has it halted today? Let's take a look and see how many times.
Is this new? Is this new of a stock?
Yes, it is.
Wow, IPO. No one want to know that thing off. Man, if I saw an IPO at $3, I think I just would have bought it hand over fist. Just for the fact that it was an IPO at $3.
Yeah.
Boom. What's the news? News me.
The headline this morning was entered into an agreement to ship 10,000 digital tablets to Uber and Lyft drivers. So it looks like it was only halted one time. Seeing actually less than I thought. No. It's been halted. Come on, filter. Let's filter for me. Here we go. That's better. All right. Benzinga Pro says it was halted. It's Tuesday, right? All right. It's halted 3 times. Nothing crazy. Only 3 times.
This one, I don't know who got down and dirty on it, but if you were fading it, I think your first cue to get out was when it breached that pre-market high. You had a pre-market high just a teeny over $5, and it took that out. That was an easy trade. The first 45 minutes, no reference point here. Oh, also you took out the former all-time high at 560. Got a little profit taking going here. I can hazard to guess where this is going tomorrow. Probably the volume stepped up today, right? And I don't know, 10,000 tablets to Lyft and Uber doesn't sound like a hell of a lot to me. But what do I know? I think I've taken 169 million shares have traded versus 220 yesterday. No one had a chance to load the boat. They actually loaded the boat on the 10th when 1.9 million traded. 362 was the close on that day. So this is a toss-up. I mean, as long you got to respect the gap, as long as it stays above that 466, then yeah, you go big volume there. Is that after going to 680, coming down to 6.8, 610, you're gonna find buyers to push it back up there tomorrow. So I don't know. I don't know if today was time to ring the register. The all-important mark will be a factor in the pre-market and after-hours trading. And then we'll see what happens. See if you get some algo follow through tomorrow, like boom, boom, radar up, big percentage on high volume. Buy. And then you see what happens at 680.
What about CBOE, Joel? This chart looks juicy to me. Did you see the news today on CBOE?
No. What's news mean?
They are extending the global trading hours for VIX and SPX options to nearly 24 hours. So as it stands right now, you can trade VIX and S&P 500 options from 3 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. Right? Wait.
No. Ooh. So
No. I'm sorry. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, it's 3 to 9:15, and then there's the pause, right? And then it's 9:30 to 4:15, right? And then and that's the session. Now they're expanding it to it's going to be the planned expansion. What I'm reading from the press release here, it's going to be from 8:15 p.m. until the following morning at 9:15, and then that's the extended session. So essentially, you could trade this thing overnight now. Trade VIX and SPX options overnight.
Welcome to 1992, CBOE.
But look at the chart. In all seriousness, though,
it's knocking on the door. Yeah, it's important trading on bats here. You know why I said welcome to 1992, don't you?
What was that when the Globex?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And you know when the first day of Globex was? Exactly. Come on,
Dana's birthday.
Oh my God, you're brilliant.
Okay.
Yep. First day of electronic trading. Man, I mean, monthly. I mean, it's knocking on the door. Last month's high. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't take it through the news. I'm sure you'll be able to drive a truck through those spreads. So keep an eye.
This is great for Virtue. Great for all the brokers. This is great news.
Ping order. Ping, ping, ping. This, the spreads we'll see. I mean, it's good. It's going to increase volume, right? And volume is good. The exchange fees. So that's good. I mean, it's on the verge of a breakout. I'm surprised news didn't do it today. We'll be keen on last month's high, 116.39. Here was the high here. So they like the news. They don't love it. So, and let's just take a look at, let's take a look at the CME. I don't know. And, CME, is this all-time high? No. Yeah, it is. They do another split. Huh. I've been keeping an eye on this puppy.
Hey.
Yeah. That's on the door of a breakout. Yeah, they must have done another
exchanges, man. Those exchanges are sneaky.
Yeah, making that money. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, same thing. NASDAQ, not ICE, but look at NDAQ. Same story.
Okay. Ooh. ICE on support. NDAQ. Yeah. Boom. Volume, baby. It's those stimulus checks going into volume and trading. It's a direct correlation.
Must be. Raul Martinez is asking about Airbnb. Somebody also asked about Airbnb this morning. Let's bring that up because I read today a very good article in Bloomberg Business Week just about Airbnb. I think it's the cover story and all the money that Airbnb spends playing damage control and playing fixer and giving payouts to people who are victims of a crime, whether it's the host or the traveler, and are victims of violent crimes and thefts and property damage and all what goes into Airbnb's black box of security. Very interesting article, I thought. Not going to affect the stock today, I don't think, but not really relevant to trading. But a very interesting article in terms of like the inner workings of how a company like Airbnb, because you assume like there's probably a lot of crime reported. There's crime in hotels. There's crime everywhere. There's a lot of crime reported in Airbnbs too, and about how they deal with that. So very interesting story,
man. Boy, oh boy, I kind of torn on this one. Huge valuation, but I'll just stick with it. Technically here, and they're kind of shrugging off the bad news. 153.7.
It's not bad news per se. It's just
if they're paying people off.
Well, no. Well, they're paying settlements is what they're doing. Off. They're just paying millions and millions of dollars every year settlements.
Not good. I'm torn. I'll just. Don't love the stock, but it's trying. Made the low, long consolidation, another move higher, long consolidation near the high, 53.74. It got a little giddy today, but it backed off. So, it'd be important for it to hang in here 1, 2, 3 days and then make another run at that area. And then your next daily high is 157.05. I put this 50% retracement in there. That's closer to 171. So it's just bunching up. If I had to like flip a coin, I think I'd rather be, trying long. I'd be more of an aggressive long over today's high. But even I think on a pullback, 130 to 23-point move, let's call it 12, 11 and a half. Where would that would take you 140. I'm a buyer 141, 142 on a pullback, buying on weakness, and a buyer above today's high on strength. S&P showing life, trying to go into mid-range on the session. We're only down 575. Could be another late day rally, instigated by Spencer wasn't here yesterday.
No, it was not. But I'm the reason for the rally. AJ Santa Maria is asking about Lennar earnings. No, Lennar does not report tomorrow. Don't know where you saw that. They report. Oh, wait a minute. They do report.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's weird. Why? Okay, AJ, you're correct. I'm wrong. They do report tomorrow after the close. Huh. Okay. I did not know that.
Profit taking ahead of the report. Someone was big round of profit taking here, a little rebound, another round of profit taking here. On the downside, 90.53. If you lose that, I think you're trading under $90. If somehow this could be one of those reports, it's not 100%, but a lot of times these things pop off the number and fade. And in this scenario, man, you got some sellers. You got some overhead supply here. So wouldn't really lean one way or another going into the report. But on a pop, boom, $100. Oh, look at that high right there at 165. I don't know if it's going to move that much. And patient buyers here. So if it flushes below that low from 4 days ago, you can look for 88, but there were some good buyers here ahead of the report. So it's tough. They usually pop and then drop. That's historically the way a lot of these home builders have traded off earnings.
Sticking with the theme from that industry, if not a home builder, but a few people asked about Zillow. Man, Joel, look at that. Whether you want to look at the Z or the ZG, doesn't matter. But look at that.
Sleepy. I know.
But this thing is cut in half.
I know.
In half.
And they came out with some like AI thing today, right? Where
did they? I didn't
yeah, that you can get a Zestimate or something. I don't know.
No, I love those estimates, man. I live off that stuff. I had those for breakfast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're great.
Bunch it up near the lows. No aggressive buyers. No aggressive sellers. I mean, how many times have you seen this kind of pattern? Growth stock sells off. Really not that far from the low. If you want to take a shot here, 109.5. Your stop. Is under 105. Give yourself a little bit more room. I want to get giddy on the upside. I'll knock out this low or that high, excuse me, and I'll just say these two highs. This is called 120. I can't get super excited on the upside till you get to 120. The other thing, which I kind of keep in the back of my head on this one, is our buddy Gene Munster. And he likes the stock. He thinks, home buying is going to go virtual and stay virtual. So haven't checked with Gene lately, but I know he likes this one, and you're certainly getting it at a discount to its all-time high.
Okay, can we look at Lazy Boy? Because they report tonight. Is this the most obvious massive earnings beat in history? Like, they have to crush it, right? They're obviously going to destroy the estimates.
You know what? I saw a tweet from Paul LaMonica about Lazy Boy. Yeah. And you guys know I'm from Monroe, Michigan. Right. My mom wanted me to room with one of the owner's sons in college. I said no. Boom.
That could have changed your whole life, Joel.
Yeah. He ended up going in the Army, though. Profit take. What happened here? 47 to 42, 41 in a couple days. I don't know what happened there. I know the market didn't melt down. But yeah, you could get a pop. Once again, you got that overhigh supply scenario. You're coming off. So if Lazy Boy beats, Ooh, it snuck over that 50% by a little bit. I mean, if it does get ripping, gets over 44, then you got a tough decision what to make between, these two bars here because it came off hard. But I'd be looking at 44 on the upside and the low of the move, the recent low of the move on the downside. That was 40.31.
I don't remember when it was, but it was like a week or two ago when it was after earnings, and I was like, that was like the most obvious beat ever. And so I'm saying it now. This is the most obvious beat of ever.
What the stock's going to do, no one knows.
That's true. No one knows, but I'm saying that we've seen it, and even if even if it does pop, which it very likely will pop, does it hold those gains? Who can say? I'm gonna call it. This is my hot take for the day. Lazy boy, huge beat, pop and drop. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, so people are piping up from Michigan here, Plymouth, Michigan, not too far, and Sister Lakes, Michigan. I'm not sure where that is.
Never heard of that. Then again, I'm not a Michigander. So
hey, where'd you stay when you went to Traverse City? I already asked you that.
Speaking of it, it was a random Airbnb that I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, I heard you ripped off a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah, that's right. All right, it's 3:53 here. We got a couple minutes. Okay. Michael, somebody asked about Wish this morning as well, and I wrote it down and we didn't cover it. I don't know if there's a headline. No, forget a headline. There's no headlines in this one. It's all social media, but I guess it's up today, so
I wish you wouldn't ask me about it.
All right,
no. This is easy peasy. Winner, chicken dinner. This is easy. You had the pullback, right? You redded it up to. I'm using it as a verb. Redded it up.
There we go.
15 to 971. Supported 10. You tried to take back half yesterday. Ooh, you got close. 12.54. So, man, 15. I'm gonna have to get the retracement filler thing out here because that's pretty darn close. See if I can get the lines correct. 12.40 and they hit 12.54. Congratulations to you 50% traders on that one. Holy cannoli. Oh, I was a little high. No, 15 right on the kisser. So right there, today's high, 12.54. That's your bogey. That's what you got to get to tomorrow to get back up to test that $15.
And then Joel, I don't know if you noticed, but the video game stocks, we're talking about it with AB, they're all trading down today. Well, not all, not Roblox, but Activision, Take-Two, EA, Zynga, all very nicely in the red today, very significantly in the red. Sony too, a little bit, but the big four are all trading down. Not Roblox.
All right. Well, Roblox. I mean, this is Roblox. Very clear line in the sand if you're trading this one. I mean, this is just, if this is not jumping out to you, then you got to take the Joel Elconin technical analysis course. $87, we'll call it 86, 86, 84, 86, 83, 87.57, spitballing it, 87 must hold level. Let's turn around. Let's get back half of this move from 104 to 87. Boom, boom. That's 10 and 7, 17, 8.5. Get back up to this 95, 96 area, hang out for a couple days, consolidate, and make another move higher. That's what I'm looking for in Roblox. Underneath this 87, folks, I don't know where to run for cover. You do have this daily low, 85.51, but who wants to sit $1.50 through support and then real spotty support in these areas? So it's not going to go straight down, but you definitely have a line in the sand there at 87 for Roblox. ATVI, which is actually the stock you asked me about. Oh, big day. I mean, stay at home, trade over. This one certainly, hanging up here near all-time highs. What's the news on this one?
Well, E3 is wrapping up today. It's the last day.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, man. Those are big
a lot of news the past few days.
Don't know what the driver is. I don't know earnings. I know this. I thought this might fade after earnings. That didn't do it. You got a nasty bar to deal with, and I don't really think it's done. Hit high for the move, not an all-time high. You get a red bar like that, you're going to get some kind of, is this thing going to hold 95.38? That's going to be the low, go back to 98? No, I don't think so. I think that you got a couple lows to test. Wouldn't worry about that 95.14 low. I'd be more looking at lower 94 if you want to give this some room on the downside instead of selling into strength.
We got 3 minutes left. Yeah, I'm seeing some people talk about Arrival. I think it's just BS manipulation. They're saying, oh, it's the next Reddit play, ARVL. Who knows? Okay. What about, we were asked this morning about, and I wrote it down, Darden Restaurants, DRI. Someone dropped this ticker in pre-market prep chat. We didn't cover it. Let's take a look at it right now. It's last I checked, it was just consolidating. Is that still?
You know what, that daily chart, it looks a hell of a lot worse than the monthly chart. The monthly chart's like, hey, nothing to worry about, just off the all-time highs. But the daily chart, just this zigzag action. This 142, you lost it here, came down. You got through it by a couple bucks, but it was a hell of a sale there. Now you come back to 142. I don't know. I got 3 out of 4 monthly low. Oh, that's support way down at 133. This is a tough one. I don't want to flip a coin on this one, and I have to erase these lines because they're no longer valid. But it's not clean. It's not. There's not a clear indication to me that this is really going right back up. And if I'd had to lean, I'd kind of be leaning towards the downside. As the reopening trade is kind of coming off just a little bit. And I was talking with another buddy too. I mean, what are these higher oil prices ever going to, affect the pocketbook? Not me, because I don't drive anywhere, but Spencer, you're paying more at the pump, right? I mean, for you to fill up that tank, you got to be spending some more money.
Not sure what that has to do with
because you're not going to have as much disposable income to spend at restaurants.
No, I think the bigger thing here is it's going to be an absolutely brutal summer for the restaurant industry, for the service industry at large, right? If you rely on cheap labor, you're in trouble. Because we were at a restaurant Saturday night. It took us 2 hours to get our food. There was just not enough
help because everyone's listening to pre-market prep and they're making money.
They're all buying those out of the money AMC call options, getting rich. I mean, there's just not enough workers out there. I think that's the bigger thing right now. If you're a restaurant, you're in for a brutal. I mean, Joel, when we were up north in Traverse City, every store was hiring. Every store was hiring. All of them.
Really?
Yeah, all of them.
Maybe I'll move up there.
Everyone's hiring. Yeah. All right, guys. That's the closing bell. Joel, how we do today?
You don't order DoorDash because the guy's he's gonna eat your French fries. You want to know how many French fries are in there. Not bad. Kind of like when I was writing up for my wrap of the day about an hour ago. Mm-hmm. We just kind of a lazy sell-off and just kind of battled back here in the red. Right near Friday's close, not a big deal. Fed meeting tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do with interest rates? So not a bad day. I could be one of those nights where you don't see the high from today. You definitely. You can't say definitely. You won't maybe not see that Globex high, 58.25. Maybe you'll see the intraday high, 48.25. And got a good level for you guys on the downside to let you know if there's going to be any kind of extended correction.
All right. See you tomorrow, Joel.
All right. Great job, Spencer. See you tomorrow.
All right. Good to be back. It is 4:01 now. I'm going to wrap up this stream, but do not go anywhere because Money Mitch is starting right now. What did Mitch buy today? What did Mitch sell? I have no earthly idea. You're going to have to tune to Money Mitch to find out. Please remember, all information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Go ahead if you have not already and drop us a like. I didn't really ask for any likes at the beginning of the stream. I'm going to do it now. Hit that like button, please. And thank you if you already did that. I appreciate all the likes. Subscribe if you haven't already to Benzinga on YouTube. And that's a wrap for me here. Money Mitch starting right now. Don't go anywhere. It's going to redirect straight to that. You don't have to do anything. You just have to click.